Hi, this is episode 105 of the Clive Barker podcast, now available on LP and Cassette. This was a news episode, and we also get a Kickstarter update. One quick update to that update. Since we've made this recording, we've actually gone up 2 more stretch goals. So now we're going to be doing a video review of Clive Barker's Jericho, the video game, and a Let's Play video for Clive Barker's Undying. So that's awesome. Our next stretch goal, we're just $50 or $48 away from our next stretch goal, which is an audio commentary for the movie Book of Blood. So looking forward to that. Hopefully we can make that one. We've still got 8 days left. So here we go, episode 105. Now available on LP and Cassette. All right, well, welcome. This one is obviously another news episode, and there's a lot that we haven't. There's a lot of news that's happened since our last news one.
That's right, episode 105.
Yeah.
So I guess we could start with Clive Barker news.
According to Revelations, Clive Barker is going to be hosting the Miss Kitty's Halloween Ball again. What is this, like 4 years or 3 years in a row?
Yeah, that 2015. I know he did it last year, 2014, maybe 2013 as well. Yeah, probably third year in a row, yeah. Yeah,
I think maybe 2012 also, because I remember the only outings that he did after his coma were that and the LA screening of the Cabal Cut.
That's right. He came out of his coma in January of 2012, right?
Yeah, and he did those in in July, that screening in July, and then the Halloween party.
And I think that this Halloween Ball, the Miss Kitty Halloween Ball, I think it has like a competition for like best costume, and I think Clive usually is part of the jury. I don't know if that's going to happen again this year, but I think
I would imagine so.
I think I remember something like that in the previous times that he was at a Miss Kitty Halloween Ball. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be in Halloween, of course. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So, if you're planning on going to Miss Kitty's Halloween Ball, you'll get to see Clive. The Books of Blood motion comics are returning this fall, and you might have seen the teaser banner for this in some websites, because I have. And it's going to be the Midnight Meat Train story that's going to be adapted to the Books of Blood motion comics. So
yeah, and geez, back in, was it July a year ago, we saw some of the work they were doing on that.
That's right.
Yeah.
They were showing us some pictures of like the paintings for the City Fathers.
Yeah. So I'm glad that's back on track, and it looks like it's actually might be coming out here pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, the first one, The Book of Blood, was great. I mean, the story adaptation was a little. I wish they would have, been a little closer to the actual story instead of changing some things like they did.
Yeah.
But the animation was amazing. The artwork was amazing.
Yeah.
And they even had a soundtrack and everything. So, I'm hoping they're going to repeat that for the Midnight Meat Train.
Yeah, and I think Rob had said from talking to the artist that it might be in 2 parts, I think.
Mr. Sam?
Yeah, Mr. Sam. That the Midnight Meat Train might be in 2 parts.
Yeah, it's certainly a big story. And,
compared to the Book of Blood, for sure.
Yeah, and the music was composed by Chris Velasco.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Lito Velasco from Leviathan.
Who also does music.
Yeah. This is Chris Velasco from Jericho, right?
Yeah. So the Weaveworld TV series, there was this news kind of hit all over last week about a Weaveworld TV series coming, and if you read the little details of the story, it was kind of crazy, and it didn't even sound like Weaveworld at all.
Yeah, that's right. There was going to be like an app developer and a young pastry chef.
Yeah, and they had to protect. There was a mansion that had a portal to another world where things would come through it, and they had to protect the portal or something.
Yeah, it was going to be an old Savannah mansion. And I'm like, doesn't sound like Weaveworld at all.
Yeah, it sounded to me like they accidentally pasted in a blurb from some other TV series.
Yeah.
But it's early and this is all preliminary, so that, maybe people don't need to take that quite to heart yet.
Exactly. I think there are some things that might be changing in the future, and we can't really talk too much about our sources, but expect this to give more. Expect this to develop a little more in the future from this initial premise, because I'm not sure if this is going to be the final form.
Well, and my thinking is, you only get one shot at a Weaveworld TV series, and if they screw it up, it's never going to happen again.
That's right. I mean, look what happened to Dread. I keep bringing that up.
Right. And like, have you ever seen the TV show Under the Dome? It's like based on a Stephen King.
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Well, so I haven't read the book or whatever, but the TV show is horrible, and that keeps making me think about if somebody really, really screws up a TV show of a Clive Barker property, it will never get made again, and that's the only chance it's ever going to get.
For a TV show, yeah, I agree. Yeah. But for movies, if they're really, really bad movies, like Rawhead Rex, there may be a chance of a remake.
Yeah, maybe. That would be nice. It would be nice to get a good... I mean, because nobody ever says anything bad about the short story, Rawhead Rex.
Yeah. I haven't seen many remakes of TV series, although there are some cases like V, The Final Battle.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a reboot of that, Battlestar Galactica.
Right.
But it's not common. I mean, if someone tried to do like a Weaveworld TV show and it failed or bombs, then I don't know if in like 5-10 years someone's going to do another Weaveworld TV show. So,
or 20 years.
Whereas movies, we're now used to seeing remakes, reboots, and whatever.
Yeah.
So that's my point. Really,
and Weaveworld could be a trilogy of movies. It couldn't. I don't think you could fit all of that into one, but.
Right, isn't it actually divided in like 3 books, like in the Kingdom of Cuckoo and whatever, or 4 books? I'm not sure, but that would work well as a trilogy.
And speaking of TV series, the Nightbreed TV series from Michael Plumides, he I think it was finally announced that that's not going to happen, and something that we've heard about for a while, and weren't supposed to talk about, but.
Unfortunately, it seems that Morgan Creek has decided to move on for now from this idea for the Nightbreed TV show. Yeah. And so because Morgan Creek has just sold or is trying to sell its domestic library of movies, they're keeping like 5 of them, though. They're keeping the rights to some of those, like The Exorcist and stuff, although it's not an indication that they're going to be developing them in the future. They're just keeping their options open. But so I don't know what's going to happen. So I think they just kind of, they need some money to do some of their projects that they want to do. Like there's a Tupac biopic that they're trying to do.
Yeah.
For years now. If you've been paying attention, there's been idea for Morgan Creek to do a movie about this rapper for a long time now. So they need some money, and the best way to do it is by selling the rights to some of their movies, the library of movies. They had sold their international rights for their library of movies to a company that was headed by Joe Roth, which, if you remember, he was one of the producers of Nightbreed.
Oh yeah.
But then he was in another company now, and I think he's not even in charge of the company anymore since that time, because I think that board changed it. But anyway, so they're selling the internet domestic rights to their library. So that means that Nightbreed will become property of someone else, I think.
Yeah, and the international rights are like with Revolution, right?
Revolution, which was the company that Joe Roth was in, and now he's not.
Yeah.
He's just a consultant. But so it says here, I don't know what the future holds for the Nightbreed property. I wrote 6 episodes in the hope of seeing the series to fruition. However, I was told to cease working on the script several months ago, as Nightbreed would be one of the properties sold. Not wanting the story I created to go to waste, I have rewritten and copyrighted the material now entitled Nocturnity. I'm developing a comic with Amrit Birdy and Mindy Lupkin, who both worked on the new Joe Sugg graphic novel, username Evie, available, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, he's probably going to try to turn this into a comic book.
Yeah.
And rework the material. So I think it works. I mean, Nightbreed is archetypal in its story. I mean, it's a story of, has a messiah idea, has like a kid who doesn't fit in. It has like a tribe of outcasts. So I'm sure this is going to be adapted into another thing pretty easily.
Yeah, and some of the things that were, niggling me a little bit about this Nightbreed TV series wouldn't even matter if it's not Nightbreed. So.
Right. Well, I think he was developing this over a treatment of developed by Matt Venn and Clive Barker. So,
right.
Yeah, which, I don't know if we'll ever be able to talk about that in the future, but it would be nice if we could.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
Shadow Horse Theater, I think they had previously done another Clive Barker play, but now they've cast History of the Devil, and that's going to be playing, I think, in this fall.
In Minneapolis, I think,
yeah,
right?
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yeah, they're going to be doing, is it the History of the Devil?
Yes, History of the Devil.
So I know at least one of our friends is going to be there, David. Hey, David, if you're listening to this, I hope you enjoy the play. And
oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So when we first announced this, they were having holding open casting sessions for this play, and now it's been cast. So just
yeah,
look it up on our website, or just go to Shadow Horse Theater's website, and you can check out there what kind of sessions and what kind of dates they're going to be running through.
So this one's kind of a big news. The Arrow box set that has Hellraiser 1, 2, and 3 on Blu-ray. They've revealed all of their specs, and Rob caught something that nobody else caught, which ended up getting spun into different news sites and everything, and which was pretty neat. I'm pretty proud of Rob for becoming a source for a bunch of other news blogs and stuff.
Yeah.
But that Hellbound Surgeon Scene, they found footage of that, and that's included in the box set in the special features.
Sure. And did you see an update on this? Which was they released some stills of the scene.
Yeah, and you could see them like coming around a corner with their hospital gowns on. Pinhead and female.
Arrow's Facebook page or website actually released some of those stills, including. Like you said, them with the hospital gowns and Chatterer putting his fingers in the elevator, which you can actually see in a trailer.
Yeah, the German trailer.
Yeah, but so we already talked about this with Barbie Wilde in our last episode, and I think we talked about this when we first announced it. Yeah. So it's great that it's coming out. So I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to this.
And that'll be kind of the final say in all of all the questions about that. It's like, oh, you want to see what it is? Here it is.
Yeah, I'm sure it's just going to be Barbie Wilde and Doug Bradley just standing around a lot.
yeah.
But don't expect like an actual full dialogue scene. I mean,
or special effects or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's cool that they found it. It's really awesome.
It is awesome. Did you buy?
No, you were going to ask me if I'm going to buy the Arrow box.
Yeah.
Well, at the moment, it's a little expensive.
Yeah.
So at the moment, I'm saving for some other things, like the new short story book from Clive Barker.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't have a Blu-ray player that can read England Blu-rays.
Neither do I.
That's my problem right here. So even if I don't
have space on my shelf to put a Blu-ray, another console of any kind.
You can just put it wherever. But the thing is, I wouldn't even be able to watch it. And I know a lot of you listeners in Britain are probably thinking, yeah, well, same here for the Nightbreed Director's Cut box that we can't watch. And it's true. I mean, I've heard some people write comments saying, well, that's fair. So we didn't get the Nightbreed Director's Cut, and it's like I just think it's sad in both occasions. I mean, it's just
it is.
I wish that there were no region limitations. I mean, it's stupid. I question how much that actually fights piracy. I don't think that really counters piracy at all.
No, The real losers are the fans. I mean, it's not like, oh, you got this, but we got this, so what's cool? It's like, no, everybody's missing out on something.
I know. It's like this region limitation for DVDs and Blu-rays is just stupid. Yeah. I wish that this would just go away.
I would love it if this same box set was reproduced by somebody in North America, but we haven't heard anything about anything like that. Right.
I have this feeling that, especially from stuff like Shout Factory and now Arrow, that these companies, they invest so much of their own money and time into these things that I think it's difficult for the same set to end up being distributed by another company. You know? Yeah. I think this is just going to be an Arrow thing.
Yeah, kind of like, Nightbreed. A lot of the special features were made by Shout Factory.
That's right. So
yeah, and they have their names in all the credits and everything.
So I'm not sure in the future if we're ever going to see like the director's cut, Blu-ray set coming out in region, B or whatever it is in Europe.
And it has a little book in it about Hellraiser by Phil and Sarah Stokes, and I really want that book.
I really want it too, but it's like at the moment, I think I'm going to have to wait a little bit on this. Maybe I'll have to get this at some later time.
Yeah.
If I can find it.
And it might be a big mistake, but I'm holding out hope that there might be a North American region version of this.
Yeah.
And it may never happen. Just like Nightbreed may never happen in region B.
I know. It hurts to say that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the Arrow box set, full specs. Like I said, I think this is going to be a really awesome thing to buy if you're a Hellraiser fan and if you live in the region where you can watch this.
Yeah.
So.
And we were talking earlier about the body book, because you were saying you were saving up money for that. So the pre-order is on November 3rd, but there's actually a way to buy an autographed copy right now.
Oh, okay. I was talking about the short story book that's coming out.
Oh, yeah.
But the body book is also pretty interesting.
Right. Yeah, of course. You were talking about the... is it Today Again? Or I forget the name of it. Tonight Again. Tales of Love, Lust, and Everything in Between. But yeah, so for the body book, you can pre-order it on November 3rd, but you can, if you support the Dark Regions Press Indiegogo, you can get an autographed version of it right now. This is down at the end of the notes here, but they have an Indiegogo for like a grab bag of Dark Regions Press stuff.
They do a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, but now they have an Indiegogo for it, and you can get an autographed body book as a prize. Mm-hmm. So I did that.
Oh, that's great. So you're going to be able to get and review the body book.
Yeah, I don't know when that's going to come out. It probably won't be any sooner than 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 people who buy it normally. But yeah, so that's another. We're talking about, it seems like these days we talk a lot about limited edition Clive Barker stuff. So the Arrow set is limited. Not only is it limited to one region, but it's also selling out. So like people are having trouble trying to buy it on Amazon.com.
Yeah.
And so people are saying, oh, you got to go to Amazon.co.uk and buy it there. So something to be wary of, if you're wasting time like me and, not buying it right away, it might be gone.
That's right. And I was reading the thing about, the article about the body book, and it says here, slated for a pre-order launch on November 3rd, 2015, the body book will be realistically in stock and shipping by Q2 of 2015.
Yeah.
As one of the most anticipated DRP titles in many years, it is expected to sell out in pre-order very quickly. We passed the second quarter, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say if you're considering buying this as a collector, I would pre-order it immediately on November 3rd. Because it seems like these go right away. Like they get sold out right away. Dark Region stuff does. I think that the Dark Regions Press announcement has a mistake because it says Q2 of 2015. But they probably mean Q2 of 2016, maybe? Yeah, it would have to be.
Starting pre-order in November 3rd, and then
right,
coming out in the second quarter.
Quarter 2 is like April through July.
Right. So anyway, that's Dark Regions Press, the body book, which it's going to have the body politic and In the Flesh.
Yeah, and some cool stuff about Quicksilver Highway from Mick Garris.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So
they always put in like good extra stuff when they do something like stories from the books of blood that have already been published, like they did for the Midnight Meat Train.
Yeah, and you and I think we're both really skeptical about the Midnight Meat Train, but then when we actually got it, it was really cool.
It was. I was just sorry that the cover on my book seems a little warped, but you know.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was really nice to get that book. I think if you're a collector and if you're interested in that story, you can get it. Mm-hmm. If you think like, okay, I already read the Midnight Meat Train, I saw the movie, I don't need to have the script, or I don't really need to have any more extra material or pay more just for a book that has that, then you can choose not to buy it. But it's like, there's a lot of extra material in here that's really interesting. And
speaking of here we've got another limited edition book, Tonight Again, Tales of Love, Lust, and Everything in Between, by Subterranean Press. So this is a short story. It says short story and vignettes. And I had remembered reading before that it had poems, but maybe that's what they mean by vignettes. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I guess they would be like more like poetry and also some art, I would imagine.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that this is the new Black is the Devil's Rainbow, Scarlet Gospels, you know, the short story collection that we've been hearing about for years. Maybe. This is it. But, you know, what's interesting is I didn't recognize any of those stories, and I had always expected this short story collection to have, you know, some of the rarer ones that were published in other compilations like Pigeon and Teresa and Hermione and the Moon and you know those stories, Animal Life, and you know those ones that you know didn't get a dedicated Clive Barker book.
I know. I mean, I like you said, maybe this is it, but
or maybe there's another one someday.
There's another one someday. Yeah. I mean, I know that he was writing some stories deliberately for the Scarlet Gospels, which then would become Black is the Devil's Rainbow, Tales of a Journeyman, and there was one that was about the internet. There was like Jehovah's Bitch, and there were other stories that he was working on, like Grail, and I don't even know. I don't really remember what. So the stories that are coming out in this collection are revealed here, are they?
Yeah. There was a list, I think, of all of the stories, and I didn't recognize any of the titles.
Right. So there you go.
Yeah.
But anyway, any compilation of short stories from Clive Barker, as long as it's got unpublished stuff, that's pure gold for me. So.
Yeah.
But like you said, you got to keep in mind that for the cheaper version, that's the hardcover, that's $30. There's only 1,000 of those. Yeah,
that's going to go really fast. I mean, and you can pre-order it now, so do it.
Yeah, do it. That's what I'm going to do. I know you and Rob already pre-ordered this.
Yeah, so. Yeah, I think so. Sometimes I forget, or I pre-order something else, and I think that I pre-ordered something, and I didn't. And it's like sometimes it'll be like a year before you get one of these books, and they come in the mail. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot that I bought this.
I bet that's a good surprise.
Yeah, yeah. So Rob had put a story here a little while back that realclivebarker.com is back up with lots of cool stuff. So they had revamped the website and added stuff, including art. So you can buy art directly from the Real Clive Barker website now.
Yeah, so the new store came out. Yeah, and so the store came back up online after they did some changes to it. And it was announced, there was a big announcement saying, hey, you know, a few days for the Real Clive Barker store to come back up. And then there was some minor technical glitch, and I think it came up the day after they announced. And they were offering a few goodies with if you bought a book there in the first 24 hours or something.
Mm.
I think
that's right. People were posting pictures of like, hey, look at all this other stuff that I got with these books that I bought.
Yeah. I think he got like some bookmarks or something. Rob, when he bought First Tales, I think he bought First Tales from the website, and so they put in like a bookmark. So that was cool.
I need to ask them to get me a new dust jacket for First Tales. That really bugs me that mine doesn't have any writing on it or no title or anything.
Yeah.
It looks weird on the shelf.
We should take pictures of our editions and send them over to Seraphin and ask them.
Yeah.
So what's the deal here? Because I remember when we did the episode on that book, we ended up discovering that we had different looking books.
Yeah. Even the book itself underneath the dust jacket was different.
Yeah. Mine is red.
Yeah, and mine is black.
Yeah, maybe you got an extremely limited edition prototype. I don't know.
I don't know.
They might want it back.
Yeah. Fun-sized horror anthology will include an animated short by Christian Francis and Mark Miller, and this
Andrew
is
Furtado is also in there.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. And I think we got a little bit of a hint of that, and it's definitely horror. It's an interesting story. It's definitely, I would check that out.
Exactly. It's Fun Size Horror Volume 2, Terrifying Tales Slashed Down to Fun Size. So this is going to come out October 15th.
Oh, wow.
What do you know? That's today. It's coming out today. Yeah,
and that's today as we're recording this. So it's as you're listening, it's probably already out, so go check it out.
Yeah. And it's really nice animation, and the voices are really funny, especially, Andrew Furtado making his voice. And Christian Francis sounding like a very angry character.
Yeah, the backstage manager.
I think he complained to us, they made me look too angry, but, So check that out.
Yeah. Candyman 2 soundtrack is coming out. And if you have the double disc CD from Philip Glass, then you already have the Candyman 1 and 2 soundtrack. Mm-hmm. But there's a special Candyman 2 soundtrack coming out on vinyl and cassette.
Isn't this amazing that something's coming out in cassette?
I know. I don't understand.
Wow.
I don't understand it, but I guess I'm not the target audience. I feel like right? I finally got rid of all my cassettes for the most part.
Okay, but it's pretty impressive. It's going to be available in limited edition color vinyl, black vinyl, and cassette tape. And vinyl editions are going to have a deluxe gatefold old school tip-on jacket.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It's gonna be the B Haze vinyl, silver yellow split vinyl. So that's the color vinyl edition. There's going to be variants inserted randomly and limited to 500 copies each worldwide. They come sequentially foil numbered, 2 series of 500.
And the Candyman soundtrack is good. I mean, the Candyman 2 soundtrack is good. It's just a little bit more flourished than the first one. Kind of like the Hellraiser 2 soundtrack versus the original Hellraiser soundtrack. That's
a good analogy right there. So yeah, after all this collectible jargon, I mean, I'm like, honestly, I'm a collector, but sometimes I just get a little lost in all the jargon that comes with collector's editions. Like it's going to be, sequentially foil numbered and old school tip-on jacket and deluxe fold.
Somebody out there knows what all that means.
Yeah, I just want it on a CD that I can listen to. And that's pretty much.
Me too. I put the CD in the computer and, transfer it to my iPhone, and that's where I listen.
I'm just becoming terribly, I would say, not jaded, but I'm becoming much more practical when it comes to my favorite authors. Sometimes I just want to buy the CD of the band, or I just want to buy the book, and that's it. I don't really need that to be a deluxe item, although I understand completely the people who want to have those as deluxe items. But sometimes I just want a CD or a book or a paperback. Yeah. I'm happy with a paperback of something that I can carry with me instead of having to worry about, this is like the, calfskin leather bound thing with like screen printed dust jacket. Yeah. And I can't
numbered out of 250 limited print run.
Yeah, and I can't even pick it up and read it because the acid in my hands is going to damage it. And I'm like, Sometimes I just don't give that much of a deal about the deluxe editions.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's just a rant, mini rant. But
Stephen Hoban of Christmas Horror says he's going to be he's some Clive Barker stuff he's going to be working on include a new adaptation of Yattering and Jack, something called Night of the Zombies, which is like a kids animated thing that Clive Barker wrote about a zombie outbreak in a zoo, right?
Wow, I never heard of that.
Yeah, and then Incarnate, which we've talked about before.
Huh. Well, it says here it's basically Madagascar meets The Walking Dead. Zombies.
Yeah, Night of
I remember Droolies. You remember the Droolies?
No.
Okay, you remember that documentary called The Art of Clive Barker?
Yeah.
You remember there's like a segment where they kind of animate or talk about this project that Clive had. It was called the Droolies.
No.
And they were like these creatures that he would draw with like ink.
That's that 30-minute documentary that you got when you sent away the proofs of purchase from Hellraiser 3, right? Yeah, I have that. I still have that videotape. I haven't watched it in a while. I actually put it onto a DVD at one point.
Right. I also scanned it, but it ended up in black and white for some reason for me.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I remember the Droolies. You can actually find them on Clive Barker's website, Revelations.
Oh, really?
Add that to the show notes here.
The Droolies. Yep. Okay.
Yep. But I never heard of the Zombies, to be honest. So
yeah.
If there's any connection between this, because the Droolies were little monsters with huge eyes. And so that's not like a zombie at all. So that's probably not it.
But yeah, it does sound like kind of a kid's thing about little monsters. You know, like the Jump Tribe. Yeah.
Yeah, like that, yeah. I remember something about... Okay, here's what I found on Twitter from Revelations about the zombies. Okay, this was published by Phil and Sarah on October 7, 2015. Like maybe 8 days ago. So yeah. Clive on zombies. I think the tone of it is something like Paranorman. You know, that kind of dark but funny thing? And so then they have a link to film's work in progress on their website, clivebarker.info. And it says here that this fully animated project is based on a new storyline from Clive and has been waiting in the wings since spring of 2014. October 2015 sees Stephen Hoban of Copperheart Entertainment talking to Fangoria about the upcoming feature. After toying with other titles, the creators have settled on Zombies. And so it says here, Beautiful Monsters by Phil and Sarah Stokes, October 7, 2015. This is an interview that Phil and Sarah have. Yeah,
but I don't think they've posted it yet because... They even at one point said something like click on the link to read the entire interview, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah, they say here, note, interview took place on May 30, 2014, full text here. So actually they linked to their 31st revelatory interview.
Oh, okay.
I've mentioned zombies. And so, like they said, this was started working on this in spring of 2014, so that's when he was talking about it. It says here, what's weird is I pitched the thing as I was falling asleep. I was off and I'd completely forgotten about it. But Mark remembered it all. He taped it all and it was there. So, and Ben Mears also said in this same interview, there's an animation company that's very, very interested in making a film called Zombies, which is based on an idea that Clive had where a kid is trapped in a zoo during a zombie outbreak. And it's something that I wrote as a 2-issue comic just to see if we could do anything with it. And we ended up sending it to this company, and they went, we're very, very interested in it. This is something we want to do. And it will be their first venture into children's movies. So it seems to me like this is more like an idea that Clive had when he was falling asleep. And then he just pitched it to Mark and Ben developed it into a 2-part comic. And now they're using it for this thing with Copper Entertainment.
So somebody will be writing it, and it's a Clive Barker idea.
Yeah. So actually the version for Copperheart Entertainment is going to be called Night of the Zombies. So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll have to keep a watch out for that.
Watching the skies.
Yeah. Yeah. And
also keep watching the skies for that new Yattering and Jack thing because that's hilarious.
Yeah. That is something, that's something I would be really excited to see, because I think the Yattering and Jack just kind of worked, but not really on the Tales from the Dark Side, because it was too hampered by being a network television.
Yeah, and the whole special effect thing was just, under budget, and it's true,
and now
the story is
CGI
funny.
is so cheap now,
Yeah, the story is meant to be funny, even in the Books of Blood.
Yeah,
but I just think it became too funny in Tales from the Dark Side.
Yeah, they took out all the dark humor.
Yeah.
So there is a Body Politic fan film teaser trailer, which is kind of cool. I think I didn't actually watch that yet. I've been meaning to watch the link, and I just haven't done it.
Yeah, I watched it. It was a short film from Bad Trip Films based on the Body Politic, and they released a teaser trailer. And they said that the finished version will be released sometime this October. So I haven't checked to see if they actually released it yet. Let me check real quick. I'm just going to Bad Trip Studios channel on YouTube. And it seems to me like, no, they haven't released it yet. But it was a cool trailer. And they don't do the whole story from what they said. They're only going to adapt the first arc. It says here, not the entire story. Essentially, it's the first act. We had enough fun doing one severed hand. We don't have the money for an army. It'll be released soon, so keep your eyes open for it.
Okay.
And then, on a related note, we hit the $800 stretch goal for our Kickstarter. So We're going to be doing a commentary track for Quicksilver Highway.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. I'm excited about that one. You did a funny picture of us on the Quicksilver Highway poster. I think Rob and I, right, with our hands attacking our faces.
By your hands.
Yeah.
So, also, we're going to do the Yattering and Jack commentary track.
Yeah.
From the stretch goal of the Kickstarter, which is now at $802. So it still has 9 days to go, I think.
Yes, yeah, right. So soon that'll be over. You won't hear us talking about it much anymore.
Yeah, but it's been really awesome. So
yeah, we're really excited about that. I think it's it got a lot farther than we expected, obviously, because we didn't even invent stretch goals to get as far as 800 to start with. We had to kind of do a meeting and talk about what should some new ones be.
Yeah, and we're figuring out exactly when are we going to start doing these commentary tracks and how are we going to release them.
Yeah. So
they're going to be like specials. They're not going to be like numbered episodes. They're going to be specials. But that already puts us, it puts us down for quite a few specials for the year of 2016. And, it's going to be some work, but it's going to be fun. I can't wait to do it.
I think we'll probably start recording them soon after the Kickstarter is over, just so we, just to kind of get a start on them.
Yep.
And Jim Kelly's Nightmares is going to feature some Clive Barker artwork.
Okay.
Let's see. So Jim Kelly's Nightmares is a TV series where they investigate paranormal stuff. Yeah,
it says here it's an interactive horror series. And Clive Barker will provide artwork for each episode.
Yeah, so that's pretty neat.
Kelly also said that Seraphin and Clive have been amazing, and they let us do a paranormal investigation at his place with Kane Hodder, which, of course, plays Jason in a lot of movies.
There was
interesting.
There was a podcast where Mark Miller was on one of the Nerdist podcasts where he was talking about where they talk about paranormal stuff. And he spent a good 40 minutes just talking about all of the weird paranormal stuff that happens in the Clive Barker studio house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the stuff that's happened to him and Ben Mears and to Christian Francis and the intern. I forget what his name is.
Eric?
Yeah, Eric. Yes.
Yeah, I that's the first I've ever heard of anything like that. I think they're just kind of warming up for this. But unfortunately, and this is the what happens when you're recording something live, I just figured out that Jim Kelly's Nightmares has been canceled. I just visited the Kickstarter page for Jim Kelly's Nightmares.
Yeah.
And it says here, Nightmares canceled by Nightmares LLC, deleted. And it said it had 25 backers that pledged $4,813 of the $200,000 goal.
Oh, man.
And it says here, funding canceled. Funding for this project was canceled by the project creator 2 days ago. So unfortunately...
so they didn't even make it the 30 days then?
I don't think so. It was canceled 2 days ago. So
there
you go. That's the thing that happens sometimes. You know, we've done plenty of things about... We've talked a lot of projects that Clive Barker was going to be involved with, and then they never happened. I guess this is going to be one of those. Well, anyway, it would have been nice.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah.
So this one, I just combined a couple of news stories together into one, but basically time is running out for Scarlet Box and Horrorology. So I was starting to see people complaining about how one guy was trying to buy Horrorology on Amazon.com and he couldn't get it, or they were having some kind of, the order just kept getting delayed while they're trying to fulfill it on their end. So people were advising them to buy it on Amazon.co.uk. Also, the Scarlet Box is sold out on Arrow's website, so you have to get it from somewhere else, like Amazon or whatever.
Oh, it reminds me of the director's cut of Nightbreed that got sold out in Shout Factory's website.
Yeah.
I guess they just have like a few thousands of those, and then they put the rest of their product with third-party sellers.
Yeah. Well, in the Scarlet Box, I wonder if those will be sold individually as Blu-rays at some point. You know, because like what they did with the Alien quadrilogy, which I still am not sure that's a real word, but you can buy those individually now on Blu-ray. You can go out and buy Alien 3 or whatever if you want to. Right,
exactly. So who knows? Maybe at one point they'll do it.
Yeah.
For now, I think they're putting all their bets into this box because this is probably going to be, a limited edition box that people are going to want to buy immediately.
Yeah.
They're going to bank a lot on it. So, and then once this is done, maybe they will start putting out the 2K, the 2K transfers. Ugh. Let me just go back. And then maybe they'll put out the 2K transfers individually. That would be great.
Yeah. So if you have a 2K or a 4K TV, it must upscale like when you're watching a regular Blu-ray that's 1080p?
I guess so, yeah.
Does that look bad?
No.
Huh.
I guess it depends on what kind of TV you have.
Yeah, I just have a regular HD TV. I still don't have one of those fancy ones with a K on it.
Well, I'm sure if you're watching like a DVD and like a 4K TV, that might end up looking a little blown up. Maybe the resolution will be a little off.
Yeah.
You'll be able to see that, there's like, the outlines are not going to be super crisp or anything like that. But,
Yeah, well, and I watched DVDs upscaled on a Blu-ray player already, and it's not bad. I don't know, but I just wonder if that's going to be too much.
Yeah. Well, again, I'm sure that it's going to be a while until 2K and 4K becomes really, really popular and mainstream. But I guess this would work if you want to do like some sort of, projection of the movie this Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I think it'll probably look amazing.
I think you can already get TVs at a decent. They're like you can get like an $800 4K TV right now.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so I just, we just bought our TV like 3 years ago. I don't know that I really want to buy another one right now, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, oh well.
And when it comes to like that sort of stuff, I'm always like behind the curve.
Yeah.
I'm not an early adopter of like, that sort of technology, usually because it's really expensive, so...
We had a couple of feedback from Twitter. Mayday Skies... wrote, because I had asked, do you have any questions or comments for this upcoming episode? Wrote, fantastic, I have 103, 104, and now this one to catch up on.
Well, there you go, Maydays, guys. Thanks for being a listener, and I hope that this news episode is going to be entertaining to you.
Yeah. And Scott McKeating wrote, I'm unclear about this. Is there a short story collection coming? And the answer is yes. Yes, definitely there is. So, Horrorology, we didn't really talk about that much on this episode. That's an anthology that has one Clive Barker story in it. But the main Clive Barker short story collection is that one we were talking about earlier, Tonight Again, Tales of Love, Lust, and Everything in Between by Subterranean Press.
I have something to say here. Don't you think it's weird that Clive Barker's books keep jumping between Dark Regions Press and Subterranean?
Yeah. You would think that they would pick one, and then there was also the Roy Robbins
Bad Moon books?
Yeah, Bad Moon books.
Yeah. I was just wondering why they keep jumping between these little, publishing houses. But, I guess that's their idea for this, so yeah.
Yeah, there must be some reason. I don't know what it is either.
And Horrorology is edited by Stephen Jones, which, if you know Stephen Jones' history with Clive Barker, he's edited several things like A through Z of Horror and Shadows in Eden, I think.
Yeah, and maybe The Dark Fantastic?
That's Douglas E. Winter.
Oh, is it? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, Stephen Jones also was involved with the Hellraiser Chronicles, the Nightbreed Chronicles.
For the 90s, he did a lot of stuff about Clive Barker.
Yeah, he was the, what do you call it?
Publicist?
Publicist, yes. He was the publicist, and he was on set for Hellraiser movies, Nightbreed movies, and stuff like that. So, Stephen Jones. So, there you go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, make sure to listen to us and check out our Kickstarter.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, we didn't really give a Kickstarter update. I forgot. We kind of skipped past that. We're at, like you said before, we're at $802 right now. Our original goal was $100. We still have some more stretch goals that we could hit. So at $850, the next thing is a Jericho video review, or maybe a playthrough, depending on which one of us does it.
Yeah, and there's other things like Let's Play for Undying or a mini documentary about Hellraiser Bloodline if we reach $1,000 stretch goal. So, you guys could help us come up with more things to do in 2016 and get a oil for Ryan's creaky chair. And
yeah, is that pretty loud?
A new microphone for me. No, not really. A new microphone for me or for Rob. Because, I think Rob uses the laptop microphone or something.
Well, and also for backer rewards, we still have 2 autographed Clive Barker books, hardcovers that haven't been bought yet.
Yeah, those baskets, right?
Yeah, so we still have the Inhuman Condition and the In the Flesh. And I lowered the price on those because those baskets were originally $100 because I thought that hardcovers were worth a little more than paperbacks, but since nobody bought them, I figure maybe I'm wrong. So I lowered the price on those to exactly the same as what the paperback ones all sold for.
We should do an update on Kickstarter.
Oh, I did. Yeah,
okay.
I did about that. Yeah, on the 7th, I think.
So yeah, looking forward to that. Looking forward to being able to see a few more people contribute on our fundraiser 3, Hell on Earth.
Yeah,
and like Ryan said, our stretch goals now after a certain level are actually good movies. We're not torturing ourselves anymore.
Yeah.
Quicksilver Highway, or if we watch any other things.
Yeah.
So don't think that we're saying that those movies are bad in any way.
Yeah.
But The Book of Blood.
Well, and Undying is a great game, and Jericho is a great game.
Yeah. So be sure to stop by our Kickstarter. We'll leave a link to it in the show notes and help support us because we still have 9 days to go. So thank you very much to everybody who's contributed so far, and I'm sure we'll do another news episode once this is done, where we will thank everyone individually. So,
all right, cool. The Clive Barker Podcast, or BarkerCast, is an independent editorial fan site and podcast that is not affiliated with or under contract by Clive Barker or Seraphim Films. This podcast and site are a labor of love by the fans for the fans. News, features, and show notes for this episode can be found at www.clivebarkercast.com. Go to iTunes and please leave us a review. Reviews really help us get the word out about Clive Barker. You can also find us on Podomatic, Xbox Music Store, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, Double Twist, BlackBerry, and Pocket Cast. We have a Facebook page, so come on and like our Facebook page and join the Occupy Midian group for lots of discussion about Nightbreed and other Clive Barker stuff. On Twitter, we're at BarkerCast and at Occupy Midian. Opening theme by Mark Buckle.